right, we're back for synthesizers. So I'm going to walk through all of the different synth parts, which were all recorded with my Juno 106. It's actually the Roland Boutique series module, the JU06. So I have the little keyboard attachment, but I also have it plugged into a larger MIDI controller. And this is one of two hardware synths that I use all the time. It's super versatile. And at this point, I've made probably like 20 to 30 presets that I really like of different lead sounds and pads and bass sounds. And so I can just go through the bank and find settings that are cool and then tweak from there. So that's what I did on this song. There's a few different riffs that have different layers of sounds I combined in the demo process. And so I'm going to share some of those with you. I'll play it first with plugins. So now I'm going to bypass all the plugins and let's dive into this, see how it sounds individually. So the main riff is this tone. And then I combined it with this one. Oh yeah, I forgot to bypass the delay there, but you get the idea. It kind of adds a nice movement, combining the one that almost sounds like it has tremolo. It's like a certain modulation to the filter. And then the other one is more of a pure tone that has a plucky attack on it, but a little bit of a modulation that's slow. And so combined, I just thought it was a really cool, unique texture. All I did in terms of processing, so for this first one, added some tape plugin, the Studer tape machine, added a little bit of some Echoplex quarter note delay, and then rolled off some of the high end and low end. So just added some cool character. Otherwise, it was a very like pure sound. So I think it just sounds more interesting with that. And then I also added some reverb to really put it in a much bigger space. Big synth hall, just used a preset in Chromaverb. And then the second one is pretty similar. I used the tape plugin. I used some EQ. There was a little bit more low end in this, so rolled that off. Soothe. I'm actually surprised I used that. Let's see what it's doing. Yeah, I think some of that mid-range was just poking out too much. So using Soothe just helped tuck in some of those harmonics, helped it to blend better. And then Echo Boy, same thing, the quarter note Echoplex delay. And then the big synth reverb. Oh, for this one, I'm actually using Valhalla, the bright hall setting. So this is a cool thing to do when you have different synth layers or even guitar layers. Send them to different reverb spaces. It just adds a different level of dimension to the sound than if I sent them both to the exact same hall. Just makes it a little bit more complex and interesting sounding. And that way you can also choose reverbs that better complement whatever the synth tone is. So the chorus, we have some chords on the Juno. I think I pulled these from the demo. You can actually see I had to edit them for timing because I think I played it a little sloppy in the demo, but I don't remember how I exactly arrived at this sound. Started at a preset and then tweaked from there. So I just used the same ones from the demo. Here's how it sounds without any plugins. slightly muddy, so added some high end with the console EQ, and then got rid of some of the cloudier mid-range around 475 hertz. Phase Mistress to add a little bit of movement, so you can hear that. Or first, let's just hear without the EQ, and then I'll bring it in. With phaser. This 11 stereo preset is a cool one when you just want a more subtle sounding phaser effect. And then Studer, adding a little bit of crunch. Pretty subtle saturation on that. And then the Echoplex again. That's nice. Yeah, a little bit more feedback on that so you can really hear it bouncing, ping pong delay style. And then the Bright Hall, or no, this was the big synth hall from Reverb. And then I have these other synth layers that come in halfway through. So let's hear these on their own. So I have these on separate tracks, but these actually have the exact same processing as the main intro riff. So I'm not going to go over that again because we already saw that, but you can hear these together. And the main difference here is instead of having two stereo sounds panned to the middle or panned on top of each other, this I actually pan them out left and right. So you have a little bit more distinct definition of each synth sound to the left and right, which made the chorus just feel wider. And then with that, I also had a vibraphone that was playing the exact same part. So it's made to just blend with the synth sound, so you don't even notice it's there. So with the chords, so those are all of the synth sounds. Let's hear that in context. So there you go. Those are all the synths in this song. Let me know if you have any questions down in the comments.